Hello there, and welcome back to Corey Lucis, where today we are once again continuing our Thrawn's Revenge 3.0 preview, technically playthrough as the New Republic, using this build from December. But we have killed Isard, we've fought off multiple attacks from Zinj on Mon Calamari, and we've got a line of planets through Hut space connecting our worlds. There's still this, independent fleet, which has some random assorted units that will eventually be switched out with actual Hut units. But Honegger is also back here with kind of some dregs of some Imperial forces. I don't think we have to worry about that too much. We do have to worry about Zinj still and the corporate sector. Luckily, we have Borsphalia's bonus, so there's uh, there's at least vision of what's going to be going on. But one thing that I wanted to do was to send our stealthy Jedi brigade down to help Mara, and we are going to send you guys to here, to there, and we're going to use Aaron Kraken to spy on those guys. Because I wanna try to raid Chandrilla down, but what I think we are going to focus on is potentially getting into the CSA at this point. I did go and unlock all of the as yet unlocked patron units. Uh, all the stuff that wasn't unlocked already, because we're getting to the mid stages of the playthrough, and I do want to make sure that uh, we have a chance to use everything. Because it's not like this is really previewing anything anymore, so I'm less concerned about making sure we follow the specific mechanics. But let's see. We're gonna see what's on the ground on Chandrilla, because it doesn't seem like it's actually all that much. Okay, there's some stuff there. No structures yet. That's the main thing, though. And I'm kind of gonna try to do bad things to the Greater Maldrude. It seems like they've already had a lot of bad things happen to them, so maybe that's kind of rude of me. But for those of you watching on YouTube, this is being recorded live on Twitch, so I will be trying to answer some Twitch questions if and when they come up. But let's look at what we got here. I kind of want to build Paladin Shield. But is that, you know what? Let's build Paladin Shield. That'll be still a while away. Come on, Luke and Kyle and Corin. Or just Luke and Kyle, not Corin. Stare 2. Alright, no structures. We're going to see if we can take some field bases here. I'm just asking, when are World Devastators coming back to Thrawn's Revenge? When we have new models done for them. We are basically waiting till we have some their actual mechanics done, so abilities and stuff, which is a bit more involved, and we've had to focus on some other things for a while. So that hasn't been a focus quite yet, but probably in 3.2 would be my guess. So, not immediately, but hopefully not super long. Whenever we have a chance to flesh out mechanics attached to them. And especially now that there's more done with legitimacy and everything, or not legitimacy, influence, though legitimacy would probably tie into it as well. Then we have more options for stuff like super weapons to have effects, because they can also have drawbacks. All right, there was 2 companies of these guys. All right. You guys get back here. Kyle, are you still over there? Yeah, you need to get out of there. I don't think they can get over. But let's see if they leave. Yeah, okay, we can get another build pad over here. Skipper is asking, how much help do you get from Petroglyph on the source code? Do they give you hypotheticals and how it might be coded, and you go from there? Not really. We don't get very much. They can't really release anything that they're not allowed to from the publisher, uh, formerly LucasArts, now Disney. Uh, So there's some stuff they've been able to give us, like we have a very good idea of how auto resolve works, where they've shown us specific code for that. As part of the patch, we kind of asked for more documentation on certain things, and they're hopefully going to be able to give us some of that. But like there's not very many occasions where we'll be able to get much information on that kind of stuff from them. It's very rare. So like it does happen, but it is very rare. Um, I'll just send these guys back around that way. What are you doing? When will the greater antimeridian sectors? uh, I don't know when. So the next single stream Galactic Conquest we do is being voted on currently on Patreon, and so far Meldrude is winning. So it seems like Meldrude is a good candidate for that. Don't want this one. You guys can do this. There's that one. Get this one. There we go. I wonder if we'll be able to just kill this. Yeah, the Jedi are quite good once they're in range. Smack it. All right, don't smack it if they don't want the don't want to stay in position. Um. All right. All right. That should be like one hit. And Mara, you have a chance to get healthier again. Now you guys can keep smacking on some TIE crawlers. There we go. Good job, Jedi. If only we had Silgal. I think Silgal is one of my favorite New Jedi Order Jedi. Herbus is asking, which era does the Black Fleet Crisis begin, and what era the Evethans will be playable in? So the Black Fleet Crisis takes place within Era 5. They'll be playable in other eras, technically, but they'll be weaker when you can start as them. I don't know if we'd make them available to play as right off the start, because like they were still in the middle of capturing stuff. And like the Avetha are kind of interesting because they were just recently spacefaring. Like they didn't just get an influx of ships from taking over the Black Fleet. That's where they got like most of their military power because they just hadn't really existed before, or they'd existed before. Oh, there's Thrawn. Look at that guy right there, bud. Is that worthy of a raid? Like, does Nance go and get some Nance in his pants? Nance, you're gonna go kill Thrawn. We're killing him. But yeah, like, it's only a few decades before the mods timeline that they actually started spaceflight at all. So even on the scale of the smaller factions that we have, they're very small. All right, Murder Pickle and Impetus, you're in there. This MC40 is going to support, and we're going to kill them through this. And hopefully Thrawn doesn't get too far out of there. Let's bring in a Quasar. And I don't care if these guys retreat. Crack of... Oh, you're not Crack of Dawn. You're Crack of Dawn. And Queen's Revenge. So there are a few things that have been redone since this playthrough started on the art side as well. Two recent ones, the Bulwark and the Empress. So the Bulwark 1, 2, and 3 are now all different assets, where before they all looked the same. The Bulwark 3 currently is the same basic design as what the previous 3 were. Deathhawk, you can come in, and regular Marauder. But the 1 and 2 have their own unique models now. And Firmus, you can power that up. And then the Empress has also been redone. Plus, there was the hotfix patch to fix the pathfinding issues around the Empress and Valaduja. So they should be a bit less wonky to play around. Blow that up. Blow that up. Get the shipyard down. And kill that. God, this build is so old. I'm not quite as tempted as to do an update to it as I was with the Empire of the Hand. I don't want to rebuild it, but there's so much old stuff here. All right, I think we should be able to kill all this. I'm not sure what of it is... Yeah, a couple reserves, but most of it's real. Shouldn't Outer Talon have the Spider Commander trait instead of the Ace Pilot trait? Probably. But he was previously one, I believe, so... Erebus is asking if there was a possible candidate for Command Tier 1 in both TR and Fall of the Republic, who would you say it is? So Akbar, Thrawn, and the Thrawn clone are the only ones between both mods that are Tier 1. I think the person who was considered the most for Tier 1 in Fall of the Republic would have been Trench, actually. Because Trench had a lot of experience. One of the reasons that there aren't any Tier 1s in Fall of the Republic is because the galaxy hadn't had any large-scale wars for a long time. So there wasn't as much opportunity as someone like Thrawn or Akbar had to just get good at warring. And Murder Pickle come in at the front here. Well, not the front, apparently. Coming at the side, I guess. Quasar. Impetus in there. Crack of Dawn. Then let's put Feng Shui. Queen's Revenge. I don't want you super targetable. And we can get Missiles Are Us. Deathhawk. Astral Hammer. Baby Doom Tube. Support. All right, you're gonna start actually going for the Allegiance. Nance, get that power to shields up. All right, now start focusing over on the other stuff. On that. And we were gonna, I forget, did we already retire? Yeah, we retired Dorat. Does this mean we're gonna have to retire Nance? Because I think the rule with Dorat was that Dorat had been involved in killing an Imperial leader. So if that's what we're doing, especially if it ends up being a close call, does that mean we just gotta retire Nance as well? But yeah, so Trench had, to get back to the story from like 5 minutes ago, Trench had a lot more war experience before the Clone Wars even, and he was really good. Uh, so Trench was the one that we considered the most. So I think he ended up being tier 2 with some positive traits. Getting back there. I don't remember what traits he has, if any, so that part could be wrong. But he was the one that got most consideration. Why not Tarkin? Tarkin was never that, like, he was fine at strategy, but he was never brilliant. He was mostly a political figure rather than military. The most positive thing we ever really get about him as a military commander is like Akbar saying he learned from Tarkin. Alright. Nance survives to fight another day. Hopefully we won't end up having to fight the Empire of the Hand. It looks like we may. Alright, looks like we're doing it. I'm not gonna use power to weapons because I think we'll be able to do enough damage without that, and I don't want to risk the damage loss or the health loss for us. Because right now, Queen Amidala's Revenge, or the Queen's Revenge, not Queen Amidala's Revenge, that's a different ship. Queen's Revenge is on the front lines. But we should actually, yeah, I think we're okay now to do it. So there won't be enough to do substantial damage. All right. All right, so 5 weeks and we're into Era 3. Instructor asking the specialty building on Trangula's surface. So this is REC, which will give us a discount to some of the new class stuff. I typically don't build too many corporations in my playthroughs because like the patron units don't get discounted by them, but they are quite good, and I do recommend. All right, we've killed Thrawn. We're just gonna back off rather than trying to take the planets. All right, here's that fleet. Goal in one. Um, we'll see. You guys get back. To encourage use of those, would it be a Structoman's asking? Encourage use of those, would it be a good idea to make certain ships only unlockable by having a good influence level with said planet? Well, the ships that typically, if you're getting a discount on them, it's for a core part of your roster. So locking out the core parts of rosters to specific planets or to specific levels of influence on the planets probably wouldn't go over super well. There's already some planets that do give influence like units from influence, uh, like Mandalore and soon Bakura, Apen planets. So there are influence units, but tying the corporation bonuses to influence units would just make them even more niche. And like you can't really cut off the uh like the Majestic and Nebula and Sasheen behind influence on a specific planet. That's a huge part of New Republic's roster. Starlancer is asking in the future, if the Empire of the Hand starts in the era after the Kamask Crisis, will they still be able to get a Thrawn clone? Potentially. There's some evidence that despite Luke and Mara destroying the Thrawn clone, there was actually still a Thrawn clone out there, potentially. So it depends on how much we lean into that. All right, did that strike cruiser retreat? I think it did. So there's what? There's two of the strike cruisers. And they're the best ship they have. So if we can make the strike cruisers both retreat, even if we can't destroy them outright. Come on. Pop your retreat. There, I think it's retreating. Yeah. I think I just saw that TIE fighter go back in. Nope. We're screwed. If we'd been one shipyard level higher, that would have been more than enough. But unfortunately, it wasn't, and we weren't. Hopefully they won't be able to cut it off, though. I don't think we need this anywhere right now. So let's get a shipyard on Fondor. Corellia, we already have the shipyard on. But we're building Regaba fleet, so let's get Tasteless Bean and Enduring Conviction for them. Hold on. Who do we have coming up for all this? A few Chief of State ones. I kind of want to get... Well, the election's going to happen, so we're kind of... Yeah, the election, we're going to miss out. So Borsk is our Chorsk for now. I'm not going to cheat. Ooh, Sabaoth's here. I think we can do this. If I build some anti-infantry turrets, then I think we might be able to hold. You guys come down here. They might be screwing them, so yeah, because this is one of the builds where you needed where the field base was tied to the landing zone directly. So, annoyingly, that means they're kind of screwed now. Annoyingly for them, it's kind of handy for us, but it does mean that we're cheating, technically. There, we win. I'm okay with that. Do we just take Hikasi and Ebac? Like, the Empire isn't holding up their end of the deal on that. I guess taking Telfaglio would be the next nice thing to do. How are our resources looking? We're good for a while on resources, actually. So, Wedge, what are you doing? You're gonna need some ships, actually. You're gonna get Bad Moncal Entertainment Company, Thunderchild. And Telfaglio. Hunted Shore's asking, is there a reason why the AI puts most of its leaders in a single fleet? Yeah, so Bob tries to do what he can to mitigate that, but basically the heroes are just individual units, and the AI does have a certain desire to have as many varied units in a fleet as it can to cover different roles and everything, and just to have variance in unit types. So when they see heroes, when they see a group of heroes, they're like, oh, these are like 13 really powerful units that all do different things. And because the heroes are coded as individual units, the AI will be like, oh, well, this satisfies everything I could want out of everything. And then it's just like, oh, what do you mean I only have one fleet with heroes in it and they're all just covering each other? It's a bit more split up now than it used to be. Like, the Empire of the Hand is the biggest defender, because that's a good chunk of their starting forces power, where they have some other units, but not the most. So, putting their heroes together ends up being like the best way for them to get an effective assault fleet. Alright, you keep blowing that up. Alright, forward. Let's get the engines off of you. Impetus, you can stay on there. And we're going to get Nance and Murder Pickle on over. I think we will retire Nance. He's been in charge of a lot of assaults for us. So Telfaglio will be his final performance. We're going to be retiring him. If our other heroes end up dying, because we're voluntarily retiring them, him and Dorat can be called back into active service. But we should be okay. All right, keep moving up there. Keep moving up there. Keep moving up there. We took out a lot of their fighters. All right, stay there so that you don't get hit by the Golem 3. You're going to go up to the shipyard and the Golem 1. But I don't want you to tank the Golem 3 right now, Nance. Getting too Nancy. Get up there. All right. I hate taking out the Imperial fleets like this. They were supposed to be one of the factions that we let survive later into the game. But it looks like the Pentastar Alignment's going to keep their territory. So it'll probably be us and the Pentastar Alignment last. I know I said I wanted to focus on the corporate sector this episode, but I didn't. And he's asking, I just killed Palp in my campaign, and he wasn't in the Eclipse. Why was that? Palpatine and the Eclipse are separate. You get Palpatine, and then you have to buy the Eclipse separately. We try to avoid mixed ground and space heroes whenever possible. Sometimes that means they get turned into two separate heroes, or sometimes that means the ship is made available separately from the hero. And we decided for Palpatine's case, it made the most sense to have the Eclipse be its own unit. There's some AI reasons for that and some balancing reasons for that. Yeah, there's some talk in the chat about the IEC and the Tonfalk. The Tonfalk name is a bit more recent, actually. For a long time, it was just the escort carrier, which was easy to confuse with the Storm Commando Imperial escort carrier. So they were confusing to reference for a long time. If you go back to older versions of the mod, that one, the Tonfalk, is just called the escort carrier. All right. Golem 3, you're dead to me. Got him. And that's going to do it. All right, so I think we're going to leave it there for today's episode. So for those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. For those of you watching on Twitch, we're going to keep going with even more episodes. So thank you for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.